Philip, we've got Wimbledon High School against Surbiton High School. Race number 19 on the card. See the breeze there, the flags fluttering, makes it challenging for these schools' boats. Temple Island, they'll be buffeted around in the next few strokes as they come off the end of Temple Island.
Yeah, you can see both crews being affected by it. It must have picked up a little bit. It's really unsettling when you're rowing in that kind of wind, because you're sort of trying to anchor your feet down and row a stable pattern, but it's like someone's wiggling the boat around and trying to sort of knock you off. But it's both crews handling it well so far, and it looks like Surbiton are just taking a bit of an early lead on this, which you would expect from this Surbiton crew, given the quality they are. You know, reaching the final against Headington last year. You know, they're in this to win it. You know. The Wimbledon High School crew, great to see them racing. You know, this is their first appearance at Henley, so, you know, great for them to even qualify and be racing here. And they're doing an amazing job here to stay in contact with Surbiton and keep the pressure on.
So, nearest to the camera, Surbiton High School there. 17 and 18-year-olds. 16-year-old, but in that 3 seats, Emily Shaw is only 15 years old.
What a phenomenal experience to be racing Henley at 15. Hopefully plenty more years to come, but this is a great experience. And quite a few of them are quite young in there as well, actually. Izzy Kennedy's 16 as well. Sophie and the stroke, Charlotte's both 17 as well.
Yeah, Charlotte Hubbard and Sophie Rankin, stroke seats and 7 seats. So great experience for them. Good for their coaches and their programme as well, knowing that they're likely to be back in years to come, build a boat around them next summer. Wimbledon High School. Well, this is another tight race, isn't it? They're overlapping at the moment. I wonder if we're going to get a decisive move from Surbiton in the next few strokes. They look like they were just trying to push on a bit, but you can see there, very tight between Surbiton and Wimbledon. This is a proper local derby as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a sort of southwest London derby, this, isn't it? It's but yeah, you can see actually there was a period there where they're both rowing in the same pattern, weren't they? In terms of the stroke rate, but it looks like, I'm just seeing who's edging out in terms of running up the rate. It looks like Wimbledon, and good on them. You know, you want to stay in contact. You've got to throw everything at it.
There's such a pressure on the steering, isn't there? On a tight race like this, you don't want to be making the course longer by wiggling your way down. I was just watching Surbiton steering there. They're coming a little bit central. They've got that sorted out. But there is a real onus on getting that steering right in a tight race, particularly.
Definitely, yeah. Every little bit counts, you know, in this sense. And I think it's, you know, some people might think there's a bit of a tactic of trying to sort of drift over and force your opposition over, but, you know, like with anything with rowing, it's row your own race, focus on your boat, make your boat go as fast as it can, and that credit to both crews here. That's what they're doing, and we're really impressed here with the Wimbledon High School crew here. Very much in touch with Surbiton, which is great. The Wimbledon crew, coached by Gillian Lindsay, obviously the sort of Sydney 2000 Olympic silver medalist in the quad there. So, you know, great coaching lead to have, and she's obviously shared a lot of her wisdom with these girls, and they're doing a great job to stay in touch with Surbiton.
So Surbiton High School, left of your picture, in control at the moment against Wimbledon High School. They're being bumped around a little bit. The boat's up and down and heading out. I think they're finding the conditions challenging. Just looking at the wind. We've got nice bright sunshine now, and it's getting warmer as the day goes on, but the wind is still a factor, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think any of us would find it challenging in this. Yeah. Unless the water's pretty steady, not too many boat traffic pootling around today. But yeah, that wind is always tricky, and it just lengthens this already slightly longer than the normal 2,000 metre course. The headwind makes this a little bit longer too. But yeah, Surbiton just looking like they're stepping into a slightly more relaxed gear now, actually, and just edging away.
The extra 112 metres from an international course. Paddling upstream as well. Headwind. It's all stacked against them, isn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately it is. I mean, you kind of want it the opposite way, wouldn't you?
Really, yeah.
I wonder, haven't done that, but no, anyway, yeah, I think it's, but yeah, looking great there, Surbiton, isn't it? And coached by Pete Robinson. He'll be pleased with how they're rowing here and how they've managed that race.
The banks are getting busier. more and more arriving to enjoy the day of rowing, the Wednesday, the second day this year. See from our commentary position on the finish line, Stewards is ram-packed, and those who have got here early enough have got seats in the front row, and they're craning their necks trying to get a view of this race and how it's unfolding. Wimbledon High School against Surbiton High School, who lead at the moment in this Prince Philip Challenge Trophy race.
Yeah, it's always funny to see people on the banks really craning, trying to reach over and look as far down the course they can without falling into the river. But it's, yeah, this is a good race, and they're on their way down the course, looking good.
This is the Wimbledon High School boat in the blue and green that you can see. Katie Bayliss in the stroke seat. So Emily Palmer. There you've got Fairhurst there. Here's the Cox, Ellie Griffin. And they'll need to do something fast if they're to change the order here at Wimbledon High School.
They're doing everything they can, which is, you know, keeping the rate as racy as they can. You know, they've not let it settle down, which can, you know, sometimes if you are the crew that's behind, it's sometimes, you know, a bit deflating in the sense that the rate goes down, particularly in a headwind, and you end up sort of trudging it, whereas they're definitely trying to keep it loose and lively and really try and get in touch with Surbiton as much as they can. But for a first crack at this from Wimbledon, it's great to have them in the event, and it's, you know, they'll learn from this. You know, this is a great experience.
Yeah, definitely experience in the bag for Wimbledon, and for Surbiton, it'll be a confidence boost, won't it? They'll be feeling very good about life. Yes, providing nothing untoward happens in the next couple of minutes. They've still got a couple of minutes of rowing left in them. So in front of the regatta enclosure now, but you can see what I mean about the towpath getting busier.
It's definitely filling up, and I don't know whether the Wind and Surbiton train in Kingston actually quite, and they're based next to Tamesis Sailing Club. So I don't suppose there's any sort of shared knowledge or wisdom around how to
deal with the wind.
Deal with the wind, but they're dealing with it very well today, and they're looking great. You know, they look very relaxed into what would be an uncomfortable head breeze.
So the green of Surbiton High School. Drop the rate off.
That's it. Wow, look at the, you can really see the bow wave there, you know, right on the front of the boat there, that wave just sploshing up and cutting through the water nicely. They're
keeping it very level, aren't they? It's very well balanced considering the conditions. That's,
I think some coaches would always joke that maybe as an athlete you could balance a glass of water on your decks, right? Yeah. Which I think is an impossible task, but that looked like they were close. Could have been close to doing it.
I'm sure you managed that back in your day.
No, definitely not. I think I would have spilt everything, and you know, I would.
Right, Surbiton High School. Good performance, polished performance from them in the Prince Philip Challenge Trophy. Kept honest by Wimbledon High School all the way down. Surbiton, who head into the next round. They progress through Wimbledon High School and enjoy the rest of the week at Henley, but they won't be on the water competing. Surbiton High School through in the next round of the Prince Philip Challenge Trophy.